Shalom, all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostle Great Millstone, and citations to rock teach all true sincerity. Um, it's gonna be called In the Kingdom. God's laws will reign supreme. The nations, servitude. Because in the kingdom of heaven, the law, statutes, commandments are gonna reign. Are gonna be the government laws of the earth, the governmental laws of the earth, and all 613 laws, statutes, commandments are gonna be the governmental laws of the earth. And the Israelites, we're gonna have the laws, statutes, commandments written in our inward parts. So we're gonna be immortal beings, following the law, statutes, commandments 100%. But the heathens, who are gonna be captives, are still be in the flesh. So they're going to come and follow the the ones who are in power. um you know Come and learn the ways of our power, you know because the true judges of the earth are going to be the Israelites, who are going to govern the earth in righteousness. We're going to be perfect judges because we were, in those terrestrial fleshly bodies where we did go off at, so we're going to be able to judge a matter, or judge a person uh, perfectly, because we understand the flesh that they're in, because we were once a part of that flesh for many lifetimes. So anyway, to move on, I'm gonna start in Micah chapter 4 verse 1. I'm gonna read it in the NLT. So in the last days, the mountain of Yahweh's house will be the highest of all, the most important place on earth. It will be raised above the other hills, the other governments, the other people. Um, it'll be raised up above all those old governments, because the Israelites are going to be in power. Um, it says it will be raised above the other hills, and the people from all over the world will stream there to worship. It says people from many nations will come and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of Jacob's power, Jacob's God. There he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the Lord's teachings will go out of from Zion. His word will go out from Jerusalem." Yeah, because the headquarters of this is Israel. The New Jerusalem. Israel will be built up with sapphires and emeralds, a golden city, uh, pure gold everywhere, and these nations are gonna all come and bring, substance with them to learn of our ways, um, and to build up our walls, because they're gonna be our servants, our captives, you know, and they're gonna have continual employment. Esau will be obliterated out of existence, after 1,000 years of him serving us. But um, the other nations who are gonna remain and be given land and mercy, and a job to do, because like the scriptures say, they're gonna have continual employment. They're gonna serve us, and we're gonna show them justice, and rule righteously over them, you know, because the the first 1,000 years is gonna be harsh, and after that, it's not gonna be harsh no more, because we're gonna show them, justice, because they're gonna still serve us, play, you know, pay tribute and still be employed by us to do things, even after 1,000 years is over, because like because we're not gonna lift a finger in the kingdom. We're gonna have a servant doing something for us. They're gonna be our servants and handmaids, as the scriptures say. So, sure, they're gonna build up our kingdom. We're gonna be harsh towards them for that, period of time, and then after that period of time, after Esau is taken out of existence, the other nations will be still employed by us to work and do what we ask them to do. You know, so um, but I'm gonna go and read Leviticus 25 and verse 39. Um, I'm gonna read that also in the NLT, because um, so this is because we're not supposed to treat a fellow Israelite, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's bloodline the same as we would treat a regular heathen. So this is Leviticus chapter 25 verse 39 says, if one of your fellow Israelites falls into poverty and is forced to sell himself to you, do not treat him as a slave. It says treat him instead as a hired worker or a temporary resident who lives with you, and he will serve you only until the year of Jubilee. At that time, he and his children will no longer be obligated to you. They shall return to their clans and go back to the land originally allotted to their ancestors. The people of Israel are my servants, whom I brought out of the land of Egypt, so they must never be sold as slaves. Show your fear of Yahweh by treating them harshly. Oh, Salaki, let me read that again. Verse 43, Leviticus chapter 25, verse 43. It says, show your fear of Yahweh by not treating them harshly. However, you may purchase male and female slaves from among the nations around you. So the heathens, we can treat them um for we can treat a heathen slave, a Gentile, um a natural Gentile heathen, harshly. But the Israelite, fellow brother or sister of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob bloodline, we cannot treat them the same as we would treat a heathen nation. And you know, when it comes to servitude, or when it comes to we if they have to sell themselves to us as you know as because they owe us something, or they have to pay you know a a debt to us, and and they're paying the debt by serving us for 6 years, because I believe the Jubilee is about 6 years, and the year Jubilee is the 7th year, and that's when they can go back to their land that they came from, or their family homeland that they were allotted, um if I'm not mistaken, Salakia. But the point is, you know um you're not supposed to deal with an Israelite as you would deal how you deal with a heathen, you know but yeah, the heathens, um we can treat them rigorously, because they treated us, harshly when we were when as we are in captivity under them. They treat us, um you know they do wicked things towards the children of Israel over in the lands we are scattered to. But anyway, not to go off topic, I'm gonna read verse 45. This is Leviticus chapter 25, verse 45 says, "Ye may also purchase the children of the temporary residents who live among you, including those who have been born in the land. You may treat them as your property." And this is talking about the heathens. It says, "Passing them on to your children as permanent inheritance. You may treat them as slaves, but you must never treat your fellow Israelites this way." So we can treat the heathen who are, we purchased, you know amongst the other, nations. We can treat them and sell them to our children as a permanent inheritance, a permanent servant for life. But we can't do the same thing as to our fellow sister or fellow brother who is of the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the 12 patriarchs. You know, um, I'm gonna go to Revelations, um, chapter 2. It's like Revelations chapter 2 and verse 26. Revelation chapter 2, verse 26. It says, "Who are victorious, who obey me in to the very end, to them will I give authority over all the nations." So, those that endure to the end, you're gonna have power and authority over all the nations. To have them under your dominion, under your servitude. You know, Slovakia. Says, they will rule the nations with an iron rod and smash them with like clay pots. Yeah, because we're gonna beat these nations into subjection. Dash them into itty bitty pieces. You know. I'm gonna go to Isaiah 49 and verse 22. Um, this is Isaiah 49 verse 22. It says, "This is what the sovereign Lord says. See, I will give a signal to the godless nations. They will carry your little sons back to you in their arms. They will bring your daughters on their shoulders." So these nations are going to bring our children on their backs, um, bring our daughters on their shoulders back to our land. Um, it says, "Kings and queens will serve you and care for all your needs. They will bow to the earth before you and lick the dust of your feet." It says, "Then you will know that I am Yahweh. Those who trust in me will never be put to shame." Because these nations are going to uh, bring us back. Well, Yahushua is going to bring us back, but these nations are going to, you know, put our children on their backs, um, and bring our daughters on their shoulders, um, into our land, and they're gonna serve us as our servants and handmaids. Um, but I'm gonna come back to Isaiah 49, and I'm gonna go to Isaiah 54 right quick, and then come back to Isaiah uh 49. It's Isaiah 54 and verse 13. It says, "I will teach all your children, and they will enjoy great peace. And you will be secured under a government that is just and fair. Your enemies will stay far away, and you will live in peace. Because it says in Psalms that peace shall be in our streets. We're not gonna have any. That's what true peace will be on earth, is when the Israelites are put back in the land. Right now, the imposters are in our land. There's no peace in the earth. So there's still war going on. There's still World War III is in effect. It's been in effect for years, but it's really it's really amping up more and more each day. They're already trying to turn, basically they already signed away where it's going to be soon a cashless society, and everything basically is going to go digital soon. But not to go off topic, the point is, the people who are in power, who sit in the land that's not theirs, they're imposters, and this place is not the whole world is not at peace. So that the people who if they were the true people of the Lord, the earth would not be in so much turmoil, and there would be no war, and things would be righteous. Everybody, the Israelites would be righteous, and the earth, King David and Yahushua would be on earth, and this earth wouldn't be in mourning. Everything is in mourning, because um the righteous people are not governing the earth. The wicked are in power, and they're governing the earth in wickedness. When the righteous get in power, the earth will be governed in righteousness, and the earth won't mourn. Everybody will be happy, even nature. Um, but anyway, um, I'm reverse. I'll read verse 14 again. This is Isaiah 54 verse 14. It says, "Ye will be secure under a government that is just and fair. Your enemies will stay far away. You will live in peace, and terror will not come near." It says, "If any nation come to fight you, it is not because I sent them. Whoever attacks you will go down in defeat." Because if I read down and get to 17, it says, shall no weapon turned against you will prosper. Will prosper. Um, yeah, no weapon formed against thee shall prosper. Uh, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. There's a song out, I believe Marvin Sapp, he sings that song, "No weapon formed against thee shall prosper." I'm not gonna sing it, but the point is, you know, anybody who comes up against Israel, which they're not going to, because if they do, they're going to be basically destroyed. You know, and it won't take an army to do it. Only one Israelite. It, every Israelite's gonna have power, so it'll only take one Israelite to just destroy an entire army, because that's how much power um Yahweh is gonna give his people to be able to tap in and just decimate an enemy, if they even think about trying to test an Israelite who in the kingdom. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to Isaiah 49, and verse 24. Is Isaiah 49 verse 24. It says, "Who can snatch the plunder of war from the hand of a warrior? Who can demand the tyrant let his captives go?" It says, But Yahweh says the captives of war will the captives of the warriors will be released, and the plunder of tyrants will be retrieved. For I will fight those who fight you, and I will save your children. I will feed your enemies with their own flesh, and they will be drunk with rivers of their own blood, and all the world will know that I, Yahweh, am your Savior and your Redeemer, the Mighty One of Jacob. Yeah, because these, you know, Yahweh's gonna fight for His people. He's gonna save His elect, um, um, from this world, this wicked place. You know, by beaming them up in the chariots and making them part of the kingdom on the first go around. And 2/3 of Israel will perish on this side, but will be reborn in the kingdom as the children of the elect. Um, you know, um, but anyway, I'm gonna go to the last scripture. This is Jeremiah 30 and verse 16. This is Jeremiah 30 verse 16. It says, "But all who devour you will be devoured, and all your enemies will be sent into exile. All who plunder you will be plundered, and who attack you will be attacked." So all the enemies of Israel will be dealt with. And those that had us in captivity will pay for everything you've done to the children of Israel. You're not gonna get away with what you have done to the children of Israel, because Yahweh Bashin Yashai, He's going to get you back for what you've done to His people. So anyway, I'm gonna say all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Bashin Yashai Bashin Kakadash. Yahweh Bashin Yashai Bashin Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostle, great millstone, and citations to you. I can teach all truth and sincerity. And Shalom.